Hello, hi, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how I make delicious milk bread that does not require kneading. Yes, you heard me right. No kneading required. So please watch this video to the end to see how I make this. And if you've enjoyed watching this video, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel so you can be getting more of the videos like this when I post them. So these are the ingredients that I'll be using for this recipe. I'll also be listing them in the description box with the measurements. So in a bowl here, I'm adding warm milk. So the milk is slightly warmer than usual. It's not lukewarm, it's more than lukewarm because I'm adding condensed milk, which will reduce the temperature of the warm milk. So the milk is not hot and it's not lukewarm, just in between, but you can still put your finger into it without it burning you. So into this, I'm sprinkling the yeast and I'm going to mix this until it slightly dissolves, and then I'll add the sugar and then the egg as well. So because I'm using condensed milk, which is already sweet, I've reduced the amount of sugar that I'm using for this recipe, so the sugar is not much. So I'm going to mix this together until it becomes very creamy and everything dissolves into the liquid. So I'm going to set this aside and get the dry ingredients. So into the flour, I'm going to add salt and then mix it together. And whatever you do, especially in bread making that require yeast, do not add salt to your yeast because it will kill the yeast. So always add the salt to the dry ingredients, and then you can now add it to the yeast mixture. So I'm going to add the dry ingredients into the wet, and I'll be doing this in small portions so that I'll be able to mix it together. So the mixture is become stiff because the dry ingredients, the flour, has actually absorbed all the liquid. So I'm going to cover this and leave it to set for about 10 minutes. This will allow the gluten to develop, and as the gluten develops, it's going to get softer. So it's still a bit stiff here at this stage. So I'm going to add the melted butter, and then I'll mix this together with the spatula. So it looks stiff, like I said. You need a very good spatula or a wooden spoon to mix this, but I'll be using my hand afterwards to mix it once I scrape it with the spatula, because my hand will do a better job of this. So keep mixing together until the butter gets absorbed into the dough, and you can see it's getting easier to mix this together. So at this stage, I start pulling it, and as I pull it, the gluten in the dough is developing, and I'm going to cover this and set it aside again for another 10 minutes to allow the gluten to develop more. And all this we're doing is in place of kneading. So after the second 10 minutes, you can see that the dough is becoming softer and a bit more pliable. So I'm just rubbing my hand with a bit of oil so it doesn't stick to the dough. So what I'm doing at this stage is that I pull and tuck in the dough, pull and tuck in, and as I stretch it, the gluten is developing more. And you can see that it's more easier for me to pull it, so it's not very stiff like it was earlier. And that's because the gluten has had time to develop a bit. So I keep pulling and tucking in, and it's become stretchier, and it cannot tear easily at this stage. It's become quite stretchy. So I've just sprayed oil into the bowl just so that the dough doesn't stick to the side, and I'm going to cover this and set it aside for an hour in a warm place to allow it to proof. So it's going to rise and double in size. So after an hour, you can see the size of the dough has increased, and I'm going to punch out the air bubbles. And I enjoy doing this, really punching out the air bubbles. The dough has become so soft and pliable. And I'm going to pull this together and cut into portions and then start shaping it into the pan. So I'm making two bread pan. I'm using two bread pans. So I'm making two types of loaves. One is a whole loaf and the other is a pull apart loaf. So you just use your rolling pin. Make sure you flour the rolling pin so it doesn't stick, and then you pull and tuck it in to shape the bread dough. So I've shaped this into one loaf, and putting this in the loaf pan. I've already greased and floured this loaf pan, and that's how it looks like. And I'm doing the pull apart loaf now. So this is in 3 portions. So I've got the 2 loaf pans, and I'm going to cover this now and set it aside in a warm place for another 30 minutes to double in size. As you can see, this has doubled in size, and I'm going to egg wash this, then place it in the oven for 25 minutes at 160 degrees to bake. And after 25 minutes, our bread loaves are ready, and I'm just brushing with butter just to soften the crust and give it a nice shine. And this is looking so nice. Nothing beats a home baked hot bread. You can never have enough of this. And this bread is looking so fluffy, so soft, and the aroma in here is indescribable, guys. It's so fluffy. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel so you can get my videos whenever I post them, and don't forget to put your comment below, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.